I just remember being in pain.
My child was going to be deaf, and there was nothing I could do about it.
Thankfully, I'm still alive.
They are dead to me. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Pageant Mafia.
Yes, so welcome you guys. So today's episode, it is really, really important to me, and this is probably going to be one of my favorite episodes because y'all are about to get an opportunity to learn more about me on a deeper level, why I am the way that I am, and some trauma that I've had to overcome in the past few years. But you guys, if y'all want to hear more, go ahead and subscribe. But this video, we're going to be talking about my hearing loss journey, how it all occurred, how it all happened, and the people that also said that I deserve all of this to happen to me.
Well, you know, you deserve to be deaf.
Yeah, I know, right? It's crazy. But so this journey started, I was a sophomore in high school to a junior in high school. So this was a very long process. But after one of my big national pageants, when I realized everything that truly happened and all the people that turned on me, I fell into a really deep, dark place.
Yes. It was really bad.
Yeah, it was bad. I had a lot of anxiety. I was depressed. I was just almost numb. I guess that's the only way that I can really put it. It was really, really, really hard.
Yeah, I would come home from work, and you would be in bed. Mm-hmm. And moms, for all of you pageant girls, you know, I want to stress this to you. If your child starts pulling away from you, if they start laying in their bed, they have nothing to say, they generally don't want to get out of bed to do anything.
And I really didn't even realize.
Yeah, I mean, check on them.
Yeah.
Check on them, because there's probably more to the story.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking as a mom that kind of had to deal with Ashlin and deal with these issues and not knowing, not understanding. I mean, I knew what we had been through, but it all had to grow. I realized at the event what had happened because, you know, we knew before we ever left finals because of all the messages and text and pictures of everything and everything. We knew at the event what had happened, but for a 15, 16-year-old to soak it all in, and I was just mad. But she went through this huge depression that I wasn't aware it had affected her so much.
Right.
So
after all of this, I just didn't have any want to get up, do anything. Like, my routine was go to school, come home, lay in bed, and just hope I fall asleep. Like, that was honestly my day-to-day plan. But then I started to get really sick. I got mono, and then after that, it was just like I never got healthy. I was always sick. And when I say sick, it was like my whole body would always ache. Something was always wrong with me.
Always. And we would go to the doctor continuously and get no answers.
Yeah, that was the hardest part, is that no one could ever give me answers. And I was like, what the heck is wrong with me? Like, I thought it was a me issue. I was like, something is wrong with me and no one is able to figure it out. So then I was just like, okay, I'm just a lost cause, whatever. But when it all got really, really serious was when Mom called me one day. Mom would always call me to wake me up. I was always a light sleeper. And I answered the phone on my right ear. And I was like, hello, 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 hello. And I ended up hanging up because I was like, okay, she must be in a bad area or whatever. I can't hear her. And then she called me back. Same thing. Hello, hello, hello. I could not hear her. I was like, okay, whatever. So then I was like, maybe if I just put it on speakerphone. And I put it on speakerphone and I was like, okay, like I can hear you now. Come to find out, I lost all hearing in my right ear that night. But I do want to back up. That night, I woke up in the middle of the night. My ears were ringing, and I just remember being in pain. And this is about to sound really sad, but I was just used to it. I was like, okay, I'm in pain. This is just my body freaking out again. Whatever. I'm just going to go back to sleep. And then the next morning is when you were trying to call me. And the only way I could hear you is if you were on speakerphone. But in the moment, I didn't realize that my hearing in my right ear was completely gone. And no one took me seriously. Everyone was like, it's just fluid in your ears. You'll be fine in a few days. You'll be fine in a few days.
We took you to the emergency room.
Right.
We were supposed to go to Mexico like the next day for a business trip with Top 10 Prom. And I went and we sat at the emergency room most of the night. And she kept telling them she couldn't hear.
I know what's wrong with me. Yeah.
And they put her on an antibiotic. Fluid in her ears. You know, we wanted to make sure she was safe to even fly.
Right.
We did go on to our trip because at that time we kept thinking, well, maybe it is fluid in your ear, you know, and you wanted to go. And we was looking to health experts to give us advice, and we had no idea at that point.
And during this time, my immune system was super, super low because of the depression, the anxiety, and things like that. When we went to the hospital, they were like, oh, you probably have COVID, you know, and I actually did.
Yeah.
Everything I pretty much got because of how low my immune system was. But we finally took me to an ENT.
Yes.
And they ran hearing tests on me. I still have a picture of me in the room with the little headphones on with like tears in my eyes because I already knew what the results was going to be because I knew my body and I knew how I felt and I knew what was wrong with me. And after the test, we came back in the room and the guy, it was me, you, and Dad, and the guy was like, okay, guys, well, she's deaf, but this could be reversible, and he put me on steroids. And then Dad and I went on a trip. Yo, those steroids, I can kind of laugh about this now. Yo, I was like throwing up uncontrollably. Like, I'm sorry if that's kind of gross, but once again, I was in that stage where I was like, the doctors have given me medicine and nothing is helping. Nothing is helping at all. And then we started talking to Alex about it. And if you guys don't know who Alex is, she has done my hair and makeup for forever. She has become like family to us. And she is hearing impaired. And she was like, y'all go to my specialist and see if y'all can get results there.
Yep. So we went to the Hearing Institute in Jacksonville, Florida, which is a huge, massive organization hoping for some answers.
Right.
And we got them.
Yeah.
We got answers.
But also, before that, we had to go get scans on my brain.
MRIs and
Yep.
scans and CAT scans. And she was poked and prodded
And
and
that
anything
was
and
like,
everything.
when I tell y'all, I'm no longer scared of needles. I've had so many tests done on me and so much blood work. I'm like, okay, what do you need now? Just take it. And I was in that MRI machine getting a scan on my brain because they also thought it could be a tumor. Like, I'm telling y'all, no one knew what was wrong with me. And I don't care how old you are, hearing that you might have a brain tumor, like, that is very traumatic. But come to find out, I had... So your ear and your brain, you have 3 nerves, and 2 of those nerves was almost completely destroyed. The hearing nerve was completely destroyed. My balance nerve was damaged, but it was healing. And that also makes a lot of sense because when I was really sick, you guys, to even go to the bathroom in my room, I would have to hold on to both sides of the walls because I could not even walk because of how dizzy I was. And then they also said that it was a miracle that the other nerve was not messed with at all.
Which was your facial, the nerves to your facial muscles in your face.
Right.
And there was no damage whatsoever to that nerve.
Right.
So we were so blessed by that. And they said that the motion and balance nerve would heal.
Right.
Which it has.
It has, but
It
I mean, my
has, yeah.
balance isn't
Isn't what it used to be.
No, not at all.
Right.
But through all of that process, I did qualify for the cochlear implant. But if y'all know us on a personal level, or if you go on our social media, you would see that we are very strong in our faith. And if I went with a cochlear implant, they would have had to completely sever one of my nerves in my ears. And I believe that we serve a miracle working God. So I was like, nope, we're not doing that. I do believe that I am going to be healed one day. So I was like, we're We're not doing that.
We're just praying for it. We're praying for healing when God thinks it's time.
Right.
You know, we've laid hands on her, we've prayed for her, and we believe that God's still in the miracle making business, and that if and when He wants her to be healed, He will heal her.
Right.
And if not, we know it served a greater purpose.
Right,
So,
for sure.
you know, we've resolved, we're at peace with this, okay? But we're not at peace with what happened.
Right.
We're not.
They straight up told us, they said the reason that this happened is a viral infection settled in my ear. This viral infection was due to stress and anxiety.
And depression.
And not saying that it is anyone else's fault. However, I should have never been put in the situations that I was put in, and I should have never had to deal with the trauma that was upon me when I was a teenager.
Right. It all goes back to, had people been stand-up people, adults doing what they should have done, and not picking on a child, we would not be dealing with this depression, this anxiety, and everything that we had to deal with. And, you know, I was hurt. I was devastated. I was mad. And I did. I wanted justice. Right. You know, my child was going to be deaf. And there was nothing I could do about it. I was resentful then. I'm not resentful now. Right. I'm now concerned about what happens to other children. I'm now concerned about the girl that's cutting her leg and is being told to suck it up and hide it. I'm being concerned about the negative things that are being said. I'm concerned about the people that are told that they're going to out them and they're going to take their children away from them. Right. They're going to lose their children. I'm hurt and worried and concerned about the other girls that may not make it out. You did. Right. You made it 100%. Out. And you're well and you're healed. But the story, until these people stop doing this, right. And we hoped it would die.
How many other people have to get hurt and have to have lifetime trauma put on them? Like, it is truly a sad thing, but I am grateful that it was only a hearing loss, that I didn't have to have brain surgery. And how far is too far?
How far is too far? The trauma we went through in 23. Mm-hmm.
22 and 23.
23. Yeah. COVID, pre-COVID. Mm-hmm. How much do people have to take before mean people stop?
Right.
Before they just stop and look around.
And another thing is, when I lost my hearing, they were like, okay, Ashlin, you have a chance now to win big things. How crazy is that? Yeah. I've had coaches tell me, okay, the first thing you do when you go and interview now is you need to tell them about how you lost your hearing.
No.
Why would I ever want that title on me? I am not defined by my disability. I am defining my disability. I do not want to be known as that deaf girl.
No.
I'm way more to just that. When I walk in an interview, I want them to love me because of me, not because I lost my hearing and they think that it might benefit the organization.
Right. That's crazy. It's crazy that society has decided to make pageants about who has a story. Do you have a story? Mm-hmm. Are you disabled? Do you have a tragic back history? You know, what is your story? Because you can't be just a normal young lady that deserves a title. You have to have a story to be worthy. You have to go through
trauma.
Right.
That's just
What about
ridiculous.
A girl that's just a girl? I'm just a girl.
Mm-hmm.
And what about that?
Then you can get into who you are and your story then. You shouldn't only be defined by your story. And I do want you to talk about the phone call that you got after I lost my hearing, because that's an important story to share.
So I am at market with Daryl. Daryl and I are at market, and we're buying.
I was there too.
You was there also, but you had no idea about the phone call. With so much, and we're going to get into all of this, but I receive a phone call from a mother who had a daughter that was competing in pageants that had a disability. And she was precious. I adored her, always loved her, always was her champion, always fought for her. Well, unfortunately, somebody in the industry had told her that I made fun of her child.
Right.
And I'm like, why would I ever do that?
Right.
I have never, anybody that's ever known me knows I would never make fun of a child. But people in the industry
wanted us to be the bad guy.
They wanted us to be the bad guy. They wanted me to be a bad person. They saw what Ashlin was going through, and so therefore started telling people that we were doing bad things and saying bad things about their children, trying to take the focus off of them, because they're the ones that were circulating the pictures of Ashlin that caused all of this to start with.
And they were actually the ones that was making fun of
They were They were making fun of her. So this mom calls me and she's like, I can't believe that you have been making fun of my daughter for having a disability. And I see you posting on Facebook that you've been at a doctor's office with your daughter and she's deaf. Well, you know what? She deserved it. Mm-hmm. I'm like, excuse me? I know you did not just call my phone and tell me my daughter deserved to lose her hearing. Who are you, you evil person?
Right.
And let me assure you, I haven't said or done anything, but guess what?
But Mom,
it's just my word against theirs.
Even if you did, though, let's just say you did say something about this girl. How is it okay still to wish something bad on another person?
Very true. It's very true that just because someone says something bad does not make it okay for you to want the same thing to happen to another individual. Because I can assure you, to this day, if all of these people that hurt you, all of these people that caused all of this, if they called me tomorrow on the side of the road and were in a dire situation, I would go help them. I would.
All of them?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would. Doesn't mean I like them.
Right.
Does not mean I like them. Does not mean I want to have anything to do with them anymore. They are dead to me.
Right.
However, I do not want harm to come to any of them.
Right. I don't want any physical harm towards anyone.
No.
And I'm going to be real honest with you. I wouldn't go and pick them up. I'd call someone else maybe to go pick them up, because as soon as they got in my car, they'd probably, I don't know, say I was trying to run them off the road or something.
I would. But I would go help them. They don't have to talk to me. They would. And now, don't get me wrong. None of them are going to call me for help. But I'm just saying, if I was the last person in their phone and they had to call me, I would help them, because I want to be a better person than them. I want to know that. I mean, it may sound cheesy when I say, "What would Jesus do?" Okay, I would go. Believe me, I'm not trying to say I'm Jesus. Okay, because I'm not. I do wrong things every day. But if somebody is in dire need and I'm the only person that can help them, I don't care what they've done. I would help them. That doesn't mean I like them. I want to be better than them.
I saw a TikTok actually last night, and I reposted it on my TikTok, and it was this video, and it was like, well, why don't you just block them? And the girl was saying, no, I'm not just going to block them, because one, they will be winning. And two, what if they really need me one day? What if they realize that they are wrong and that they really need me? I'm going to continue to love like Jesus when they are hating.
Absolutely.
Because that makes your conscience way more clear when you know that you are doing the good and that you are still just being there. And I hit repost because I can relate to that on so many levels of friendships, relationships, everything.
I can honestly say, yeah, there are a few people I've blocked. There are. But I would say 90% of it, I didn't block. Right. They blocked us because they got tired of They blocked us because they got tired of seeing us continue to survive and survive what they had done to us. They blocked us because they didn't want to see us forget and move on. They blocked us because guess what? We looked and hit drive and didn't look in the rearview mirror. So
And
that's what that story is.
I messaged one person and I didn't realize that they blocked me. I messaged this one person because something was wrong with our dog.
Yes.
And I was coming to this person not out of yang. I wanted to leave the drama behind. If you know me personally, you know that I love my dog. And something was really wrong with her. So I reached out to this person that might have more information and could help
because
me on
they
this
had
situation.
Lily's brother.
Right.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, and we saw that their dog was
Had
sick
been
too.
sick.
Yes.
Yes.
And I actually think I still have the message on my phone. I was like, hey, I saw your post and I'm so sorry that your dog has been sick. However, now Lily is sick. Can you tell me what happened with that dog?
Right, what's going on?
Maybe this could help us figure out what's going on with that. No response. I was blocked. Which, I mean, whatever. But like at the same time, I came to this person wanting to leave the drama in the past,
Right.
wanting to leave everything behind us. I was concerned about something that I loved. And I also know that they love their dog too.
Absolutely, they do.
And it was just no response,
Yeah.
blocked.
You know, and we can be the bigger people and move on, but that doesn't mean we forget. Again, if we forget and we move on and let this go, everybody said, you know, they'll say, oh, I'm tired of hearing that. And you know, we're tired of that issue. We're beating a dead, you know, a dead horse here. Let it go. If we let it go, who else is having to deal with this kind of stuff?
Right.
Who else is having to deal with and that's what we're about. Pageant Mafia is about calling it out, making it right, get the story straight. Let's be real.
Because there are
So-
issues that happened years ago that we are still harping on.
Yes.
And the reason we are still talking about these situations years later is because it was never heard then. It is time now
Right.
to set the record straight once again and to bring awareness, because thankfully I didn't have a brain tumor. Thankfully I only lost my hearing, and thankfully I'm still alive. And those are the issues that we are dealing with, and that is why we are still talking about them.
That's why it's so important, and that's why we will continue to talk about it. That's why we have 100 different podcasts to say what we want to say, and we're going to eventually say everything we want to say. We're building, we're giving you the story, we're letting you know where we're at. We have so many stories to tell, so much we want to say. But the first stories, and what's really important, is awareness of what people are doing to these young ladies.
As
It is
well
not fair.
as the situations that made us the way that we are. Like
Right.
that situation with me losing my hearing was terrible. However, I made the best out of it, and I am so much stronger today as I was when I was 16, 17 years old.
And I can tell you also another thing. The mom that called me. Okay. I was really mad at her.
Well-
I was really mad with her. However, she had the guts to call me.
True. She did.
She had the guts to call
And
me.
she didn't post it on Facebook either.
Well, no, she did.
Oh, that's right. We were just
She did.
blocked from that post.
Yeah, she did.
That's
She made a post on Facebook saying basically how she can't believe that we were at a doctor's office with a tragedy when we had talked about her daughter.
Mm-hmm.
She did make a post, but we couldn't see it because we were blocked.
But someone
somebody
else-
screenshot it and sent it to us, like most of the things that we have evidence of
Right.
that we shouldn't have seen or that we were blocked from, but we did. Because let's face it, guys, people that you think are your friends, people that you think have your back and are not sharing what you're saying, they are. They're sharing it, they're screenshotting it, and they're sending it, and they're telling people, and that's what happened. But she called me. I explained to her that I didn't do that, and I would never. That child was precious.
And also, she was a child.
She was a child, and she was precious. She was younger than you. I would have never said anything about a disability, and I didn't, and I told her that. So I'm at ease. She never believed me. I don't think she ever believed me, and that's on her. But I did set the record straight. But I do appreciate her calling me. You know, I do appreciate that. Okay, I'll give her that. If she hadn't have posted the Facebook post, I'd be cool with that.
Yeah.
You know, I appreciate the phone call. It's more than I received from other people when they wanted to criticize, and they could do it in private. So there you go. But, you know, you sit in a hair and makeup room. You sit at a pageant. You criticize, you talk about, you screenshot, you take pictures of girls, you bash them, you send it everywhere, and then it gets back to the girl, the contestant.
Yep.
What does that do? It destroys them. You know, there was a time, and I'm going to share this, you talked about your hearing. You also started having some eating issues. You lost a lot of weight.
Right.
You developed an eating disorder. And you lost all your hair.
Right.
Those are things you didn't share. Not all your hair, a lot of your hair. It took Alex coming to me saying, Miss Michelle, I'm worried about Ashlin. Her hair is really thinning out. It took Tyler, who puts in your extensions.
Because I wasn't eating. That's why my hair was.
Right. To say, Ashlin's losing a lot of hair. You know, you need to know that. So these are issues that other people did notice and were witness to. We're not spreading gossip or rumors. We're telling the truth.
Right.
The hard, cold truth.
Yep. And you guys, if y'all want to hear more truth, more things that have made us, really.
It's who we are.
Yep. Make sure y'all go ahead and subscribe, and make sure to tune in for the next video. Bye.